The astounding story of Cam Schlittler. This guy didn't make his debut in pinstripes till after the 4th of July. You talk about high leverage moments. With a 4-0 lead, the gas face. 99 miles an hour on his 100th pitch of the night. Boone lets him keep going. Give him the pearl. We looking at a CG shut piece? It's finished. Yeah, okay. It sounds like a curse. It's not. 2-2 high heat. Romy Gonzalez, that's a dozen. And then Jarren Duran. I mean, it's the Sox and the Yankees. I don't know if it's sacrilege to invoke Jeter sprinting in this direction and up and over. Ryan McMahon, an incredible grab. You're not going to get a ton of help over there. That's just kind of how the game is. You're on your own, buddy. But he makes the remarkable play. Every out is precious this time of year. Next batter, pitch number 107. I believe it was the 7th pitch of the inning. So he was able to navigate the top of the 8th without having to throw a whole bunch more, and that ends his night. But not this game. The last out, the last hoe. You see Boone right there say, that's it. Sox have a runner on and Nathaniel Lowe. This one not the same degree of difficulty, but same result. It ends in the glove of McMahon. And New York wins over Boston. Best of 3. They win this one by a score of 4-0. Cam Schlittler, the first in Major League postseason history with 8 scoreless innings pitched, a dozen Ks, and not a single walk. That's among all pitchers, not just rookies. The first ever to do that in a game. And we welcome in the fellas in the booth. Carl, Eduardo, David, Scott Van Pelt here in the nation's capital. And Ravi, let me just start with you. If you were to have hazarded a guess of what his line might look like tonight, given the fact that he's from Mass, the dad's a chief of police in Needham and all this, and all that he's carrying with him to the mound, would this have been in play a night like this?
No. Needham, by the way, my hometown, but no, I would not have thought that. I mean, I think you go into these guys with a couple of rookies, a 24-year-old, 5 innings, turn it over to the bullpen, 4 or 5 strikeouts. But, pre-game we sit there with Aaron Boone. He used the words like stud, great stuff, confidence. The one thing about the 2 guys that were on the mound tonight, the military background of the Early family, and he went to West Point. You mentioned the police chief in a town outside of Needham. Both of these kids were incredibly grounded. You talk to their college coaches. Both said neither would be fazed by the moment, and it was quite clear, literally, that neither one was early in this game. I mean, it was a pitcher's duel until the 4th, and then the big guy, I mean, it's often the big guy that dominates. He dominated, and he's even bigger on the mound. And in New York, where it's hard to be a legend, he's established himself here real early.
David, how does a performance such as this change the way the room sees him moving forward in the most important games that they will be playing?
Aaron Boone said before the game, Scott, that he trusts Cam Schlittler just about as much as anybody. And that's saying a lot. You got Max Fried as your #1 guy. You get the feeling now you have the option. You could split up the 2 lefties, Fried and Rodon, as you move forward into the postseason. You have no problem sliding this guy in the 2-hole right now. Right behind Max Fried. He was that good. No nerves at all. Just completely dominant with his fastball. 2-seam, 4-seam all night long.
Scotty, I tell you who didn't like what they saw tonight? The Blue Jays.
Right, because now you're going to see him, and he's cooking with confidence.
Right.
And Eduardo, I want to kind of piggyback on that, and please dismiss this if it sounds ridiculous. But look, the Yankees aren't in the business of winning World Card Series. We know that. But they're also not in the business of losing a wild card series to Boston. And so surviving them in this fashion, does that allow them to a degree to exhale and now, I'm not loosey-goosey, hell, you want to win a World Series, but does it free them up to a degree moving forward?
Absolutely it does. Look, you lose the first game to the Red Sox, and now and you lose with Max Fried on the mound. I think that's huge. Rodon gave them an opportunity yesterday. The bullpen allowed them to stay in the game for tonight. And then you get the performance that you get. Absolutely. Look, we saw the Dodgers playing the wild card as well. They took care of the Cincinnati Reds. You look at the same thing here with the Yankees at home, holding serve. Now they go to Toronto, a place that they've played a lot in their division again, and see what they can do. Most likely it'll be Hill on the mound. Maybe not. Maybe it'll be Warren. But the one thing they're going to do tonight is celebrate. Tomorrow they get on that plane and then be able to perform again. They're not going to put their guard down just because they beat the Red Sox here. This is one step, and Boone told us this is probably the best team he's had and managed in the 8 years he's been here.
This is for anybody that wants to weigh in. I mentioned it in the highlight. I don't know if it's sacrilege to invoke Jeter's name, sprinting towards, the guardrail and flipping over and coming up bloody. But that McMahon catch, just a playoff game as well. I mean, you're talking about an all-timer. What was your guys' reaction in real time to that moment?
As soon as he went for it, he was going to get that ball. He took off immediately, and it was full speed ahead. And he knew where he was. He braced himself well, and this is why he was brought in. He was brought in for his elite defense, made the play, and left that dugout in a hurry before anybody else could tend to him.
Yeah, no, it's not sacrilege at all. I invoked Charlie Hayes' name, but I was stunned by the determination he had. To Eduardo's point, he was not going to be denied. I mean, he was going to get a glove on that ball in a 4-0 game that late in the game. You could see others kind of slow tapping over there. He was going for that 100%.
He was not going to get any help with that Red Sox dugout either. He was on his own. The only thing missing, Scott, was a little blood coming out like Jeter had over his eye.
Exactly. And hey, after he flipped, I was thinking, if he comes up with blood on the cheek, I'm not even going to believe it. I'm going to feel like we're living in the Matrix. But and listen, the Schlittler performance, that catch, and the two teams that are involved, there's just something about this time of year, especially with those two teams. Always fun to listen to you guys on the call, and even better to get a chance to talk to you guys. Look forward to visiting again soon, okay?
All right, Sky. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, man. As I welcome in Hunter Pence. Hunter, I'm going to start with this. We'll get back to the Schlittler piece in a moment. But you're a guy that knows what it is to celebrate the biggest wins of them all in October. I'm interested in the protocol. Like last night I asked Mookie, you guys going to celebrate? Hell yeah, they're going to celebrate. You're a guy that was in the mix. Like, if you're the ringleader of celebrations, what's important to know and to do?
I thought that was an amazing moment, and Mookie said, I think it's the protocol, and I think it's definitely a very important thing because you got to acknowledge what you've just accomplished. They're not in the business of losing wild card series to the Red Sox. I know that the World Series is the idea, but you got to get there, and you got to get there with your energy. So you need to acknowledge all the sacrifice, not only from every person in that room, all the coaching staff, the city that's been behind you, the inspiration of the heroics of McMahon diving into the dugout, and you need to feel the joy of what you've just accomplished and then charge that energy forward. You need to set the intention of where you're going and what you're going to do. So use that energy, use that momentum, and you got to rage like a rock star. You got to enjoy it.
I want to ask your thoughts on Schlittler as it relates to the next series, and it's sort of what we were talking about with the fellas that just called the game. When a young man demonstrates this level of a capacity to play at this level on this stage, does that impact the way the Yankees view this next series against Toronto in terms of just how quickly they'll give him the ball?
Absolutely. I think that he impacted the team tonight. You saw the way they were playing, the way they were walking. He lifted everyone up. He lifted the stadium up. You could feel his excellence. This has never been done before. You mentioned it. 12 strikeouts, no walks, 8 innings pitched. You lift everyone around you. The city feels it. The newspaper is going to feel it. The Blue Jays felt it. When he comes out there, there's going to be a little eyebrows raised. And yes, it's called street respect, and he's got it.
What's your thought in general as it relates to that series? Same records throughout the year. Toronto does win by virtue of having the head-to-head. I don't know that games that are played in April and June matter in October. What's your sense of that series, Hunter?
Man, I think it's going to be an exceptional series. They're two great teams that you're absolutely right. They ended with the same records. The Blue Jays are a team that don't strike out very much. The Yankees had the highest OPS in all of Major League Baseball. The Blue Jays close behind them. So I think it's going to be a big series. I'm going to have to give the momentum to the Yankees who just went through a Yankees Red Sox series. You just built a badge of honor. You found a young player that's just proven himself. Everyone's kind of feeling that joy, walking a little different. So for me, the Blue Jays are a little bit behind the 8 ball. They haven't stepped into playoff energy baseball, but at the same time, they got the division. They won the series against the Yankees, and there's a little beef between the media as well. So it's going to be a series that's going to be extremely exciting to watch. But if you ask me right now, the Yankees are playing their best baseball at the right time.
Yeah, it's a good time to get hot, and I just want to give you one last final word, whatever it might be, as it relates to Schlittler. Again, as a man who's lived what it is to play in these highest leverage moments and deliver, this is just, I'm blown away by a dude, as I say, didn't put the pinstripes on until after the 4th of July to play against that team that you rooted for and to absolutely shove. I can't get over it. I mean, am I overreacting?
Absolutely not. And I think you got to look at his poise, and I think that says so much. He was focused the whole time. None of the stuff around him mattered. The stadium going crazy. He got a standing ovation going out to the 8th and pitched a 7-pitch inning. And I think after he talked about it, he's like, I got to get ready for the next start. There's more to do. He's staying humble. He's not buying into too much of the hype. He's got more games to pitch in. To me, I think that says a lot. You got to remain neutral. He's going to enjoy this and celebrate what they just accomplished, but you could just see this guy's mentally sound. He obviously has the talent, and I think you're absolutely right. This is something special that we witnessed tonight, and the baseball world is going to definitely talk about this for a long time.
He was so buttoned up with Buster. I hope the Yankee version of you, I hope the Yankee Hunter Pence in that celebration finds him and makes sure that he has a tall, cold bottle of whatever he wants to have, because he earned it tonight, man. This was a legendary performance and a legendary postseason rivalry and regular season rivalry. Hunter, I appreciate it. Look forward to doing it more, all right?
Thank you, SVP. Appreciate it.
Likewise. All right, this is Aaron Boone just moments ago with Buster only after the Yanks 4-0 winners over the Red Sox.
How about Cam Schlittler?
I wish I could say I was surprised. I don't know if I had 8 shutout innings, but I'm not surprised by anything that kid does, and he was dominant tonight. He pretty much told me when we left last night that this was going to happen, and he completely went out there and delivered.
What did he tell you exactly as he left last night?
I don't want to get too far into it, but it was reassuring to say the least, and I knew he was really confident walking into this game.
We read your lips after he came off the field at the end of the 7th inning. You were like, he's still throwing strikes. Another one.
Yeah, so I was just going to let him until a batter got on. You know, we had the 4-run cushion, and I just trusted his strike throwing, if nothing else, at that point. But he's brilliant.
How you feeling going up against Toronto?
Yeah, obviously a great team that's had a great year. Another team we're very familiar with. We're looking forward to going up there and seeing them, and hopefully we can put our best foot forward again.
Yankees back in the division series for the 25th time, most of any team since that round became official. It's been 30 years ago. Wow. Next, the Dodgers with 20, who are back in that round as well. The Yankees, by the way, open up as a series favorite. They're dogs in Game 1, I should point out.